Imagine waking up one morning and noticing a strange dissonance within yourself. Your actions, your thoughts, your impulses, they all seem familiar, yet not entirely yours. You tell yourself you are in control, that you make your own choices, but a subtle unease nags at the edges of your mind. You feel pulled toward habits, decisions, or emotional reactions that defy your rational understanding. Something is moving in the shadows of your psyche, influencing your life without permission. Something you cannot yet name. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Pause on that. Fate is not an external force. Fate is not destiny. Fate in this sense is your own psyche speaking in whispers you have never learned to understand. Every recurring pattern, every impulsive reaction, every hidden compulsion, these are messages from the unconscious, and until they are heard, they quietly shape the architecture of your life. The paradox is simple but terrifying. You live as if you are free, yet much of what you believe to be you is orchestrated in darkness. Who you are, who you become, the choices you make, the people you love, the boundaries you set. Many of these are unconsciously negotiated by forces you have ignored, denied, or suppressed. And because you have ignored them, they have grown stronger. Consider the impulse to anger that rises at trivial provocations, or the repeated pattern of relationships that fail in familiar ways, or the compulsions that feel inexplicable yet irresistible, habits of thought, behavior, or sensation you cannot seem to break. Jung would tell us, these are not random failures, they are the unconscious asserting itself in ways your conscious mind refuses to address. You may ask, how is it possible to be unaware of your own psyche? How can part of you be operating entirely out of sight while claiming authority over your life? The answer lies in the very nature of consciousness itself. Consciousness is selective. It attends to what is convenient, socially acceptable, or immediately gratifying. The unconscious, by contrast, harbors what you reject, what frightens you, and what you cannot yet integrate. It is a vast territory of repressed feelings, denied desires, forgotten memories, and latent potential. Until you explore it, it will explore you. And here lies the profound challenge. Confronting the unconscious is neither comfortable nor linear. It is like standing at the edge of a dense forest, where shadows seem alive, where every path you take could lead you deeper into truths you are not yet prepared to face. Yet every avoidance, every distraction, every act of ignoring it allows the forest to grow thicker, the shadows to deepen, the whispers to become commands. The unconscious manifests in patterns. Repetition is its signature. Think of recurring failures, compulsions, or emotional reactions in your life. They are not coincidences. They are symptoms of an unintegrated self, a dialogue your conscious mind refuses to hold. Nietzsche said that we are what we repeatedly do. Jung would refine this. We are what the unconscious repeatedly compels us to do when we refuse to listen. But here is the subtlety. The unconscious is not only a repository of shadow and dysfunction, it is also a source of creativity, insight, vitality, and meaning. By ignoring it, you sacrifice not only control over your life, but also the richness it can provide. Your dreams, your inspirations, your flashes of insight, these are not accidents. They are the unconscious attempting to communicate, attempting to guide, attempting to bring you closer to wholeness. So how does one make the unconscious conscious? Jung proposed a path both psychological and spiritual, demanding courage, honesty, and relentless self-inquiry. It begins with observation, noticing recurring patterns without immediate judgment. It requires the discipline to ask, why do I react this way, and what am I refusing to see in myself? Each emotion, each impulse, each dream is a clue, a piece of the larger puzzle. Dreams, Jung emphasized, are the royal road to the unconscious. They speak in symbols, in narratives that bypass rational censorship. A shadow figure, a recurring setting, a striking image, all carry messages you cannot yet hear directly. To dismiss them as random is to continue living under the illusion that you are free. To interpret them, to reflect upon them, to integrate them into conscious awareness, that is the work of individuation. Individuation is the psychological journey toward wholeness. It is the act of integrating what has been hidden, denied, or rejected into the self. It is the conscious recognition of the unconscious, a process that allows you to reclaim parts of your psyche that have been silently directing your life. It is painful because the unconscious often contains truths about yourself that you would rather not know: selfishness, envy, fear, and shadowed desires. but it is also liberating, because it grants agency. Once seen, what was once hidden no longer controls you unchallenged. The consequences of neglecting this work are profound. The unconscious expresses itself in compulsions, addictions, repeated mistakes, and emotional suffering. You may rationalize these as fate, genetics, or circumstance, but they are echoes of the parts of yourself you refuse to see. The more you ignore them, the louder and more insistent they become, shaping relationships, decisions, and identity. To make the unconscious conscious is also to confront your shadow, the part of yourself you reject or deny. This is uncomfortable because the shadow often contains what you have been taught is unacceptable, immoral, or weak. Yet integration does not mean indulgence. It means acknowledgement, understanding, and acceptance. By confronting the shadow, you reclaim energy previously locked in denial. You discover that strength and wisdom reside not only in what is visible and virtuous, but also in what is hidden and feared. Carl Jung's insights extend beyond individual psychology into society. Collective unconscious patterns shape cultures, ideologies, and social behavior. Unacknowledged societal shadows manifest as prejudice, violence, and conformity. Nations repeat mistakes, communities tolerate dysfunction, and civilizations suppress uncomfortable truths, all reflecting what is denied in the psyche of the collective. Individual integration, therefore, is both personal liberation and a contribution to the broader awakening of human consciousness. Yet this process is not merely analytical, it is experiential. Meditation, reflection, journaling, dream work, therapy, and honest dialogue all create spaces in which unconscious content can emerge safely. Integration requires patience. Awareness is not instantaneous, nor is understanding. It emerges gradually, through cycles of recognition, resistance, and acceptance. Each insight is a stepping stone. Each confrontation with shadow is a reclamation of agency. At the heart of Jung's philosophy is the radical claim that true freedom cannot exist without awareness. You cannot escape the unconscious. It is always shaping you. You cannot master life while ignoring the self. The path to mastery, to authenticity, to wholeness is to illuminate the dark corners, to meet the shadows, to translate the whispers into conscious choice. Until then, your life is guided by unseen hands, and what you call fate is merely the unconscious speaking in code. So reflect. What patterns repeat in your life? Which impulses feel inevitable? Which emotions rise unbidden? And which dreams haunt your sleep? What are you refusing to see about yourself? And how has that refusal shaped the life you now inhabit? Every avoidance is a message. Every discomfort is an invitation. Every compulsion is a signpost pointing toward what must be integrated. Until you make the unconscious conscious, you are not fully alive. You are a passenger in your own existence, moved by forces you have yet to acknowledge. When you begin the work of awareness, when you begin to listen, reflect, and integrate, you reclaim your life, not by escaping the shadows, but by walking into them with open eyes. And here is the paradoxical reward. The same unconscious that has caused pain, confusion, and compulsion also holds the keys to creativity, wisdom, and meaning. By bringing it into the light, you unlock not only freedom from hidden constraints, but the full potential of a psyche that has been waiting to be known. The journey is neither simple nor comfortable, but it is the only path to authenticity, the only route to agency, the only way to ensure that your life is truly your own. Until that moment, fate whispers in patterns you barely recognize. After that moment, you begin to write your story with conscious hands. You do not merely survive your life, you finally live it.